I'm Devon Cox, and I'm doing a quick CRO review of Chewy.com as it relates to our best-in-class checklist. So Chewy, the masters of the auto ship, I'll be focusing on that a little bit, but a very well-regarded site purchased by Amazon. Starting at the header, you can see the big expose search, which is one of our big trends. I imagine their autofill is probably pretty good. Well, not really. Usually we recommend a more enhanced autofill or autocomplete, where you show product images here and 2 levels, not just product results, but also category results. So it seems like that could be improved. This we've always seen is super key and improves conversion. Just putting the phone number. We often expose the phone number, but for big brands like Chewy, they don't really need to do that. But for smaller brands, exposing the phone number is a trust factor and improves conversion. This is a really nice treatment that gets to the main customer service touch points. And then, of course, your account, which is key for an auto ship provider, understanding what auto ships you have when they're coming in. It's a lot more used on auto ship companies than not. And this is the best practice for a cart widget that has the number of items in there. Going down into their mega menu, this is an example of a very nice mega menu with mixed content, including a featured section along with kind of left flyout nav and shop balls, which are always key to have. So this looks really good. And you can see in their promo area, the only thing they focus on here is their auto ship, because that's the most important thing to them. For other e-com sites, you should also have your most important or attractive promotion here as well. I like this because this is the idea of a slider. Sliders went into vogue, out of vogue, and what's back into vogue is something like a hybrid slider like you see here. Of course, they're owned by Amazon, so Amazon is the poster child for the hybrid slider, and so maybe that's part of why we have a hybrid. I call it a hybrid because they're sliding here, but you have tiles as well. And if you look at Amazon, you can see the real tiled hybrid slider. But this is very nicely done, and with all the key UI elements for slider that you can control it very easily. If it's annoying you, you can stop it. So well done there. This is also a best practice, is to get your products and product categories close to the fold. So that looks really good. In terms of some things that we identified in our best in class, if we pop into one of their product pages, we can see their add to cart behavior. Now, Chewy's is going to be a little bit unique because of their heavy focus on auto ship. So you've got your auto ship call to action next to your add to cart. But in your typical add to cart scenario, this slide in from the right is the current best practice. So keeping them on the page and having it slide in. So there's no continue shopping situation. You just click right off it. The cross sells here are also a key best practice. And what Chewy's doing a really good job of is having 2 sets of cross sells here on the cart page, which we highly recommend. Some sites are reluctant to do 2, but we've done 2 and 3, and they're all incremental. So that's a great treatment there. They do have a cart page as well with 1 upsell. If we go to their checkout, just to take a look, we've got the typical guest returning checkout. Although they force an account, which is part of why they're focused on their auto ship. There's no guest checkout at this point, but that's because they're heavy focus on auto ship. So if we go back and go up to one of the categories, let's get to dog food, one of their biggest categories, as I understand. We've got some nice facets that aren't overwhelming. One of the things that we call out in the best in class is that facets are not necessarily ordered by alphabetical, certainly, but should be ordered by usage. In this case, it looks like it's more ordered by the number of results, but that probably corresponds to usage. And certainly having the category at the top should be something they tested, and they almost certainly did. But the facet groups should be ordered by usage, and the facet items within the group should be ordered by usage. And here's a good example where this is not ordered by the amount of results, it's ordered by how often it's used. So they would have instrumented this facet and realized how many people were using which ones and sorted them by that. That's a test that always works. It always wins. So they're doing a nice job there. It also looks very clean. You can see auto ship as one of their main things corresponding to Amazon's Prime, but you can drill right into that. And then subcat nav, visual thumbnail nav. This is also a best practice we've identified in the best in class. They're doing a nice job of it. They also do a promo banner, which not necessarily a best in class feature or best practice, but it's probably working for them. Here, sort by relevance, we found that sorting by best selling by default is best, but they probably have a real deep understanding of their margins. And so they can merchandise really high margin products or high probability for new customer products here first. But by default, best selling usually works best. And then, of course, their reviews are super strong because they're a giant brand and they keep them on here, which makes sense. These promos within the category cards is interesting. And of course, auto ship is very key for them. Let's go back to the product page. I want to see what so they're doing this treatment for their cross sells, frequently bought together, which is an Amazon treatment that we've tested extensively. It's not a high success rate model for your typical e-com brand. They're obviously in another class, but it's hard to make this work. But it obviously looks really good. And then they've got one typical cross sell. They probably have another at the bottom here. They've got to compare. Reviews are exposed, which is good. And it has the distribution. That's a best practice as well. One thing that you didn't see here were any entry or exit offers, which is a best practice among large brands. Even though entry and exit offers perform well in terms of both collecting emails, and if your promotion is a discount, it also will lead to higher conversion because discounts always lead to higher conversion. But universally, users say they're annoying. So in user testing, users will always complain about entry and exit offers, but they do work. Let's see. I think that's a pretty fast and quick update on Chewy. I guess if we talk about shipping, both Chewy and Amazon have the gold standard of free shipping. Here we have threshold shipping, but at a price level that's probably really easy to meet. So their threshold's pretty low. So you buy 2 bags of dog food or some fancy dog accessories and you're easily making that threshold. What we say about threshold shipping is that it should be pretty close to the average order value. So it's attainable, maybe a little bit over the average order value, so it does generate some incremental sales. But really, these days, we're trying not to put obstacles in terms of shipping. So that is, I think, a good, simple overview of Chewy.com, one of the, if not the best, auto ship sites on the internet. Thanks.